Hello, I am Joraul for Infocast News, and here are your headlines for this week. Blizzards close highways, airports, and businesses in much of the Kansas City area. A bomb kills 9 and wounds 20 in northwest Pakistan. Did Al-Qaeda really plot a fifth attack on 9/11? Gabrielle Gifford's astronaut husband faces a hard decision over a space mission. The next generation iPad is supposed to have a front-facing camera that's allegedly spotted at the quote, the daily, end quote, launch. And finally, there's a shooting in Ohio that kills 1 and hurts 12. All of that and more on Infocast News. First, let's start with the blizzard that affected nearly every aspect of living in Kansas City. In the clutches of a blizzard as powerful as predicted, the Kansas City area froze on Tuesday. Snow piled at a rate of almost 2 inches or more each hour, while winds reached up to 40 miles per hour or 64.37 kilometers per hour. The result was around a 12-centimeter or approximately 1 foot of snow locally and colorless, bleak conditions that closed off Interstate 70 from East Independence Way all the way to St. Charles Country suburbs of St. Louis. It shut down the Kansas City airport for hours as well. Only great travelers could somehow get east into the storm that would stretch as far as to New York. This is the kind of blizzard that we get every decade or two, said Andy Bailey of the National Weather Service station in Pleasant Hill. But as bad as it is in Kansas City, it's far worse east of here. In fact, snowfall in amounts of more than 20 inches buried places like Boonville, Missouri Highway, and other places. Patrol Superintendent Ron Rapolji said the expected storm and blizzard conditions were unlike he had seen in 27 years as a trooper. I would like to encourage anyone who doesn't have to travel to not, the patrol superintendent said. I can't say that strongly enough, he continues. Local governments and courts forfeited to the conditions and sent staff home early. Kansas City Mayor Mark Funkhauser declared a state of emergency to give the city the ability to smash through the normal red tape to get longer working hours and to get the needed supplies. Now, what a disaster that was. Luckily, by the time this Infocast was published, which was Sunday, they'd have already straightened out this problem. The text was from kansascity.com and the photos were from the Kansas City Star. Now, moving on into the Far East, the story of a bomb that killed 9 and wounded many in the northwest Pakistan area. A car bomb unfortunately killed 9 people close to the main northwestern town of Peshawar on Wednesday, the latest in a series of attacks that are challenging the police claims of progress against Islamic militants in the region. Government and security forces in Peshawar have been often attacked by the Pakistani Taliban, who have bases in proximity of Afghanistan. Pakistani forces have originally had very little presence or authority in the tribally ruled region. Also Wednesday, police said that some gunmen killed 4 policemen and kidnapped 4 others, including a senior local official, in completely separate incidents on the previous night in Pakistan's southwestern Baluchistan province. The dead include a local police chief, said the police official Karmita Khan. This article was from the Associated Press, whose writers include Razul Dawar in Peshawar, Pakistan, Abdul Sattar in Quetta, Pakistan, Hussein Afzal in Parashinar, Pakistan, and Wala Khan in Khar, Pakistan, and Amir Shah in Kabul, Afghanistan. They contributed to this report. The pictures are from the Associated Press. Now to our next story. Did Al-Qaeda plan a fifth attack? We guess so, based on a diplomatic cable caught by WikiLeaks. The disclosure in U.S. diplomatic cables obtained by the very controversial WikiLeaks has raised some suspicions that the three men were preparing to be a fifth suicide team, but canceled their attack at the last minute. Instead of boarding a domestic flight to the U.S. capital, they instead returned to Doha via London. Hotel staff told investigators that they saw pilot uniforms in their room, along with computer prints detailing the pilot names, flight numbers, and times, plus some packages addressed to Syria, Afghanistan, Jerusalem, and Jordan. On September 10th, they were booked on an American Airlines flight from Los Angeles to Washington, but they failed to board. The following day, that same Boeing 757 aircraft was hijacked by 5 terrorists and crashed into the Pentagon. Details of the unknown 9/11 alleged planners has never been disclosed. An official inquiry into the 9/11 attacks, which killed nearly 3,000 people, showed that the hijackers may have received assistance in Los Angeles, but the investigators did not publicly provide any more details. The 9/11 Commission report, which was published in July 2004, says that at least 2 of the hijackers previously visited Los Angeles, but at the time investigators appeared to have little information on their actions. The report states that they had a, quote, brief stay in Los Angeles about which we know little, end quote. New quotes, the men had a smashed cellular phone in their room and a cellular phone attached by wire to a computer. The room also contained pin-feed computer paper printouts with headers listing pilot names, airlines, flight numbers, and flight times, end quote. Well, I say, we may not yet know if these people were involved in this incident, but anyways, that photo was from Getty Images. Now, Gabrielle Gifford's husband now faces a hard decision. What will be the verdict? We'll see that soon. The commander of the International Space Station says that his twin brother, the husband of the injured Congresswoman Gabrielle Gifford, will announce very soon whether he will lead the shuttle Endeavour mission in April this year. Scott Kelly said his brother Mark is managing well after the attack on his wife in Tucson, Arizona. Gifford is improving almost every day in rehabilitation in Houston. She was fatally injured when a gunman shot her in the forehead at point blank as she met constituents outside of a Safeway on the 8th of January. 6 people were killed and 12 others injured. Mark and his identical twin are both known NASA astronauts. Mark Kelly is the commander of Endeavour's final flight. For now, another astronaut is substituting for him during training. Wow, how can he put aside his personal life and go to space? That's just simply amazing. That photo as well is from Getty Images. Later, an Ohio shooting happens. 2 men were arrested on Sunday, that's today, in connection with a shooting that left an Ohio University student dead and 11 other people wounded, say the police. Ohio Governor John Kasich issued a statement saying he was, quote, shocked and saddened, end quote, by the shooting and has offered state resources to the university and law enforcement. Quote, it's sad because young people here are trying to turn around a lot of things, end quote, he said. New quote, that campus is a bright, shining star, he'd later continue. And that photo is from the Associated Press. And the article, rewritten, I got that from the CNN. Lastly, a prototype of the Apple iPad 2G, or second generation, was spotted. Reuters reports that an eyewitness spotted what appeared to be a working model of the next iPad with a front-facing camera at the top edge of the glass screen at Wednesday's media event for the Experiment iPad publication. Apple announced a new in-application subscription feature at the event. In the past, however, Apple has gone to great lengths to disguise most of their unreleased products that are under testing out in the real world. For example, a prototype model of the iPhone 4 was found last year wrapped in a plastic case housing that made it look a bit like the iPhone 3GS. However, if accurate, the report tracks with growing evidence that Apple will add cameras to their next version of its successful tablet. On Wednesday, Apple Insider discovered a newer job listing from Apple seeking a digital photography expert to help, quotes, deliver great photography applications for the Mac and iPad platforms, end quote. Cameras on the iPad are standard as a part of a push by Apple to promote its FaceTime video conference platform. One analyst reported earlier this week that Apple is probably focusing on reducing thickness and improving anti-reflection in the display for the iPod second generation, but will keep the resolution the same. Apple Insider also said in January that Apple's next iPad would wear the upgraded SGX 543 dual-core graphics processor from Imagination Technologies. Those photos in the back, they were from Google Images. Finally, your weather. I hope you enjoyed this episode of InfoCast News Network Weekly News from our Studio A in West Vancouver. Stay tuned for more news and tutorials, plus watch our upcoming series about hepatitis. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.